Well, I'm not sure, but this Saturday maybe a quickie, at least a couple of videos, maybe sub 10 minutes. And you know, come from Jason at 4, that's a freaking bonus. I never knew I could talk for under 10 minutes. But I'm actually going to start with one here. Canary in the coal mine. This is a SHTF plan. You know, shit hit the fan plan.com. Daniel Lang's writing this article, but again, I was just looking at some video of Venezuela. They shot somebody. Now they're rioting. They burned a bunch of trucks in the street. It's like massive chaos. Civil war is like taking place right now as I'm speaking. But on other news on this side of the pond, we have our own problems. State of Illinois, right? Canary in the coal mine. Unfunded liabilities have turned Illinois into a banana republic on the brink of bankruptcy. I've talked about the Roman Empire more than I probably care to. Haven't in a while, but throughout the years of me doing videos, I've brought up the Roman Empire and said they did this. This is, and when I say this, all of these thises led to their collapse. And then I said, you know, let's compare this to America. And are we doing that? Yep. We doing that? Yep. We doing that? Yep. And the biggest one of them all, I mean, this is the one that really was it. Unfunded liabilities. A lot of people don't know that the Roman Empire, the Romans, not the, you know, I call it the empire because it was an empire back then. Just like we're an empire today. They ruled the show back then. We ruled the show today. But is that changing with China, Russia, you know? Nothing lasts forever. But the biggest thing was pensions. They had pensions in the Roman days. Ancient Rome, pensions. And they become unfunded liabilities, driving them to war and take over land and more areas until the people around them had had enough. They fought back. And it was pretty much the end of the Roman Empire. Again, it didn't happen overnight. Just like ours isn't happening overnight. But you can see this slow motion train wreck. I've been doing videos since 2009. Okay. Next year will be 9 years, 2018. I'm watching it go, slow motion train wreck. But the funny thing is, you wouldn't expect people like me and you and a lot of people who've gone on these cryptocurrencies and all this other stuff to be able to do so well during all this crap, which appears to be getting worse. But it's a beautiful thing, which is why I'm saying go jump in with both hands and both feet into those cryptos while you can and ride those baby up, ride that horse until it dies. And you may find it doesn't die. Anyways, canary in the coal mine. Unfunded liabilities have turned Illinois into a banana republic on the brink of bankruptcy. Illinois is the perfect example of what happens when your state is run by fiscally irresponsible dunces for decades. The state is buried in debt and hasn't passed a budget in over 700 days. 100% of their monthly revenue is being consumed by court-ordered payments, and the Illinois Department of Transportation has revealed that they may not be able to pay contractors who are working on over 700 infrastructure projects after July 1st if the state doesn't pass a budget. To top it all off, the state's credit rating agency, or not the agency, but their rating, the state's rating, is one step away from junk status. The lowest, by the way, of any state. Although I would say if Puerto Rico, you know, if we taking Puerto Rico, 51st state, this is how we do it in Puerto Rico. You heard that new song out now? It's hot. This is how we do in Puerto Rico. Well, this is how we do in Illinois. You guys have 70 billion. We've got just as much. You've got unfunded liabilities, and so do we. Puerto Rico, Illinitos. We'll just combine them. Puerto Rico, Illinois, Illinito. Because of these factors, Illinois may become the first state to declare bankruptcy, you know, since the Great Depression. And they say, well, yeah, we can't technically do that. Yeah, I know, but you're bankrupt. If you're bankrupt, you're bankrupt. Maybe don't declare it, but you know what I mean? There's going to be ways around it. Trust me. The governor has gone so far as to call his state a banana republic. Governor, I'm glad you caught up to J-Snip 4. Took you long enough. I got news for you, Governor. Governor. The whole effing country's a banana republic. Because the same effing politicians, imbeciles, they're in every state. They're in every capital. They're in the federal government, state government, many times in local government. And it's like they're a certain breed of human. They just do the same stuff over and over. And we catch them, they leave us with a disastrous consequence. They got to raise taxes on us, but I'm the new guy and I'll make sure that never happens again. And then he's got to raise taxes because something, The state's comptroller has admitted that we are in a massive crisis mode. And a reporter for the Chicago Tribune thinks Illinois has gone so far past the point of no return that the state should just be broken up. He recently wrote, Chicago Tribune, by the way, Rahm Emanuel's town. He wrote that what basically sounds like a suicide note for Illinois. Dissolve Illinois. Decommission the state. Tear up the charter. Whatever the legal mumbo jumbo. Just end the whole dang thing. We just disappear. With no pain. That's right. You heard me. The best thing to do is break Illinois into pieces right now. Just wipe us off the map. Cut us out of America's heartland and let neighboring states carve us up and take the best chunks for themselves. The group that will scream the loudest is the state's political class who did this to us. And the big bond creditors who are whispering talk of bankruptcy and asset forfeiture to save their own skins. But our beloved Illinois has proved that it just doesn't deserve to survive. So how did we get to this point? The root of the problem is Illinois' unfunded, again, as I told you the reason every time, unfunded liabilities, in this case, pension liabilities, which is the big one anyways, right? Always is, which amounts to, remember I said, Puerto Rico, this is how we do in Chico. It's only 70 billion, Rico. Illinois is 130 billion. The state's leaders simply promised what could not be delivered. That's funny. That's the same thing the Roman Empire did. Most of their employees can retire in their 50s, and many of them will receive $1 to $2 million over the course of their retirements. As the debts associated with those pensions reached astronomical levels, the government increased taxes so much that many of the wealthiest and most productive citizens and businesses, as I've been discussing recently, have moved out of the state, leaving an even smaller tax base to draw from. And I gave you the example about the condo and the HOA fee. My buddy Jason, $75 a month, $100 a month, $125, $150, $200. Why is this raising out of control? They never really gave an answer, but the answer was obvious to him. I'm seeing everybody moving out. They're walking away from their condos. They're just leaving. Like, go ahead and foreclose them out. Who's left to pick up the remainder? Schmucks like Jason, unfortunately. And the rest of the schmucks who stood around trying to do the right thing. That's why when I get in this damn house, hopefully, again, fingers crossed, this all works out. No HOA, no CDD crap, whatever. Leave me alone. Yep, well, we do have property taxes, so J-Snip, you enjoying your new house? If and when this actually becomes a reality. Yes, I am. I love it. It's a dream house. Felt like I won the lottery, but I didn't. I just played cryptocurrencies, made a lot of money, put a nice big down payment. But thanks for asking. Why? Because we need to tax the living crap out of you, son. Pop's tripping. He want you to ask for my bike back. No, I wouldn't trip. What taxes? The taxes we've been telling you about we're raising. The one I've been asking you about. Oh, those taxes. Stop back in my shed, homie. Uncle Sam. I know you want it back. Come follow me over to the shed. And then you proceed to give Uncle Sam an ass whooping, or not. Because when Uncle Sam, the tax man, comes, you're pretty much not telling him no. Hopefully Florida doesn't have to go down that route. But do we have pensions? Yes, we do. State workers? Yes, we do. Local county? Yes, we do. we're going to have problems too. It's guaranteed. In short, Illinois is in a death spiral, but it's not alone. Illinois is merely the canary in the coal mine. Actually, I would have said Puerto Rico, but again, it's not really a state. It's a territory. And now they're saying, look, can we just join? Can we just become the 51st state? And then like 90% of them all voted, yes, referendum, yes, we want to join. Well, it's certainly easy when you're completely bankrupt, isn't it? You didn't want to join before, did you? Not 90% of you. Now you do. Well, that's all right. You're joining another entity that's bankrupt. So you'll feel right at home. We're only hearing about Illinois right now because the percentage of the pensions that have been funded is the lowest in the nation. However, there are plenty of states that aren't too far behind Illinois. There are plenty of states with a higher debt to GDP ratio and more debt per person. And it's not just public pensions. The pension funds for every company in the S&P 500 are underfunded by $375 billion. Makes you wonder how these companies can be S&P 500, in the top 500, when they have underfunded by $375 billion. Doesn't make sense, does it? Before the last financial crisis, they were fully funded. And globally, the problem has gotten worse. Actually, far worse. 20 countries in the OECD, whose members include every Western and developed nation, have a combined, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? $78 trillion in unfunded liabilities from both private and public pensions. During the economic crash of '08, we all saw how contagious and economic calamity could be, uneconomic calamity could be. A crash in one market can put many others over the edge and cause them to crash as well. What started with a subprime mortgage crisis in the U.S. quickly turned into a global economic crash that we still haven't truly recovered from. So when Illinois does crash and burn as a result of their pension funds, and it is a matter of when, not if, then it's time to buckle up. It could be just the beginning of a global financial unraveling that will affect us all, just like it did the Roman Empire. Okay, on to the next one. Get your precious. I hope you got your precious metals on standby. Hope you got some cryptocurrencies in the fire hot, so to speak. You could easily bypass all the pain and suffering I think a lot of people are going to be feeling over the next few years. Take care.